Welcome to the Dylan Hildreth Show. I am Dylan Hildreth, and before we get into the Pac-12 season predictions, I'm going to clear some things up, and we're going to do it this way from here moving on out. So, as you can tell from the corner logo, got a lot going on here. So, here on YouTube, it will be sports, football, racing, wrestling if it gets good again. Doubtful. But YouTube, it will be apolitical unless something becomes political on sports. Whether it's someone from DC overstepping into sports or from sports overstepping into DC. Because we know that never happens. Anyway. And then, as you can see on Kick, we will be doing some live streaming stuff, whether it's sidecast, watch-alongs, playing video games, whatnot. So go over to kick.com/Dylan Hildreth. That is where you'll find me, and we'll be streaming on there. That is where we're going to be doing the streaming. YouTube's the videos, podcasting's for politics, because politics gets messy, and YouTube wants to kind of keep it clean. So that is the way we are going to be doing this from here on out. Dylan Hildreth Show on YouTube, all sports. The Dylan Hildreth Show on podcasts, political, Kick. We're playing video games, watching games together. That's what we're doing. So, with that in mind, let's dive in on the topic at hand, the Pac-12, the final Pac-12 game season. Going to be a tearjerker, and it's a little heartbreaking because this is maybe the most competitive conference in college football right now, because it is 5-6 deep. But, as they say, good things never last. So, and a little bit before we get into the actual Pac-12 predictions, as a fan of college football, and I know many of you that are watching this are, it's okay. I know things are going to be different, and traditions are going by the wayside. But that opens up new traditions to be formed, merged. That, yeah, you may not be able to experience the traditions with your kid as you did with your father or your parent or your grandfather, whatever the case may be. But this now opens up an opportunity to have a new tradition with your kids. And that tradition may be Ohio State USC, Ohio State Oregon, Michigan UCLA, whatever the case may be. Whatever tradition ends up being formed out of this whole conference realignment. Because I think the major shifting is over till next decade. So we will get an opportunity to establish some new traditions. And yes, it hurts. Sucks. Fortunate. But that is the way of college football. And don't look at it as an ending of a traditions, such as the Rose Bowl being the Big Ten Pac-12. But new traditions have an opportunity to be formed. Way to look at it. Now, that being said, let's dive into the final Pac-12 season that we will see. So, starting off in week 0, I got USC over San State, Arizona State. Bunch of fluff. Actually, I got Hawaii there. I don't like the time change. Now, this is the first big game in this Pac-12 cycle. I got Colorado winning. I think momentum is a real thing. TCU got completely undercutted with getting demolished by Georgia. Colorado has been doing nothing but building momentum going into the season. You cannot tell me that Prime Time is losing his first game as a D1 head coach at Colorado. TCU lost a lot last year. Colorado has been completely reformed, reimaged. Give me the Buffs upsetting TCU. Arizona. I got UCLA, but in a very close one. Very close. Coastal Carolina, they are not a pushover. They are a top-level G5 team. Bruins win it, but they win it close. I think North Texas beats Cal, Oregon, USC. Utah is going to demolish Florida. There is nothing there for the Gators. Now, with the recruiting cycle, did Billy Napier buy himself an extra year? Yes. But there still needs to be a little bit of ugly before Florida can get back to where they need to be. Washington wins a close one in the Chris Peterson Bowl. And then Oregon State over San. So, I got Oklahoma State, Utah, Colorado, again, rolling on through. I don't think Nebraska's where they need to be. They built a little bit momentum, but again, Colorado riding a wave of momentum. They are ready to run through a brick wall for Colorado. Plus, it is in Boulder. Give me the Buffs in a close one. I'm not taking San Diego State over UCLA. Not doing that. That was a misclick. UCLA. This one's going to be a good game. Texas Tech is going to show that they are for real. Just not real enough. Oregon. And USC, Washington, Wisconsin, Mississippi State. I really like Mississippi State. Do I ever want to go to their stadium? Absolutely not. Those damn bells will drive me nuts. But I got them beating Arizona. And also, might be some dark horse, but that, the SEC episode. And then I got Auburn, again, episode for a different time. Fresno, Arizona State, give me Fresno. Colorado, Oregon State, Stanford, Cal, LA, yada, yada, yada. There's nothing there in East Lansing. Get off my back, Sparty. Be lucky to win a game. Won a game against Washington. USC, Arizona, Oregon, but Colorado shows that they are for real. It is a tight fight. Give me Oregon. Again, another tight fight. Utah over UCLA. Washington, Oregon State. So, top 7, as you can see on the screen. 3-1s go all the way down to 8. So we got 8 squads at 3-1 or better. And all of them, conference losses. Week 5. This one, as many times as I've done this video because of audio issue, I've maybe flipped 8 times. Yes, I've done this video literally 8 times, and I've flipped back and forth. So, it's probably going to be different by the time we get to this point. But give me Oregon State. It is in Corvallis. I really like the squad. And this is no disrespect to Utah. This is a highly fought game. But Oregon State, I'm taking Oregon State only because it is that close. It is in Corvallis. Give me Oregon State by 3. This one, I go back and forth too. Because I just don't know about Colorado. A lot of this is just hope and faith and prime time, and a lack of trust in USC's defense. And this is gonna be a high intense, high energy game. There's gonna be a lot of running up and down. They're at an elevated, they're above sea level, higher than what USC is used to. I think Colorado wins it late, very close. Oregon, Washington. We'll go, actually, no, we'll go Arizona State. And USC gets back to their winning ways. Colorado still retains a moderately good record at 5-1. Oregon State still unbeaten. Colorado over Stanford, which isn't a shock because Stanford's not. But this is the one that is going to get me in trouble. That's going to get people angry because I'm taking Notre Dame, and I really love Notre Dame this year. I really, really do. Sam Hartman is a great quarterback who has the ability to be a first-round pick, a upper first-round pick, if he does what I think he does this year. Notre Dame beating USC in South Bend. It's going to happen. Mark it on your calendar. Notre Dame beats USC. Now, I got Oregon State in a close one. Taking Oregon State because it's in Corvallis, and quarterback experience is a lot higher DJU than what UCLA will bring out. Utah. Now, this would be an upset too if it didn't happen. Oregon would have won last year. I would have taken the Dogs this year. But taking the Ducks. Then we'll go Washington. UCLA, Oregon. Now, this one, everybody is saying that, USC is going to win this one. Finally. They're finally going to beat Utah. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. They haven't done it. They didn't do it last year. They're not going to do it this year. Utah's got a lot of guys coming back. USC has a lot of guys coming back, too. But you know what also is coming back? That defense. Give me the Utes in Los Angeles to beat USC. I do not trust that defense at all. And I don't know why people are... I know why people are so high on USC, because that offense is so flashy, and it's LA cool. Well, LA cool is only going to take you so far until that defense gives up 100 points. Having a offense that scores 50 points a game is nice until you realize your defense is giving up 60. Tired of these Trojans. Anyway, I digress. Oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble with Los Angeles, but I'm not too afraid. I ain't afraid of LA. Arizona State. Washington. Oregon State. Don't worry, Trojans. I'm not having you losing the Cal yet. And then this one, I think UCLA upsets Colorado in the Rose Bowl. Close. Then Oregon, Utah. This is the fight. This is the fight that I really want to see. This is the pay-per-view. Oregon, Utah. Don't get any ideas, Pac-12. We already know you're dying. Don't get any ideas. Do not put this on pay-per-view. That would be nuts, though, wouldn't it? Anyway. I'm taking Oregon. I think the coaching is about the same. I think both defenses are about the same. I think there's a little bit more talent on Oregon. Fundamentals are more on Utah. And the coaching, very similar. They are very disciplined. They're very good. But the separator. I think Bo Nix is slightly better than Cam Rising. Give me Bo Nix and the Ducks to go into Utah. And I don't want to call it an upset. I think this is going to be a very... I don't know what the spread's going to be at this point. We're in week 9. Taking Oregon. Oregon State, Colorado. I'm taking Oregon State. Again. The difference here, Oregon State doesn't play as fast. They're not going to get themselves winded being in Boulder. Very close game. Come down to the final couple drives. But I like Oregon State. They're going to be able to slow this game down, make sure that they don't run out of air. And of course, the Oregon State defense, they're going to actually be able to get a stop or two. Again, that's a shot at you, US, not paying attention. Oregon, this one, again, USC backed up against the wall. They are in serious, serious trouble. They're already at 2 losses. They're not going to be able to recover. Washington, though, they're within shouting distance. They can get to the Pac-12 championship game with a win. So, you know what? We're going to make this interesting. Washington upsetting USC in Utah, and then Washington State. So, as it sits, we have Oregon State and Oregon both unbeaten. Washington 1 game behind. Utah 2 back, along with UCLA. USC at 6-4. So their ceiling right now is 8-4. And this is with Lincoln Riley. Again, I don't trust that defense. I'm completely fine with being wrong about USC. But that defense has got to get better. And they still have Oregon on the horizon. We already know. Game in Autzen. Give me the Ducks. Get these ones out of the way. Washington, Utah. Utah has the ability to play spoiler here. This is going to be a very tightly coached game. This is usually one of those where Pac-12 shoots themselves in the foot by taking out a contender. So, for the sake of interest, and it hurts because I really like Utah. Really do. Give me Washington. Very close battle. Week 12. Colorado, Oregon. Now this is the decider. Who goes to the Pac-12 title game to decide to face Oregon and Corvallis? Corvallis is rocking right now. They have their best team since the Sean Mannion, Brandon Cooks, or TJ Husmann-Jada. This game is going to be close. Taking the Beavers. Oh, so close. Cal, Utah, USC. Again, all close fights. But anyway, we have our final Pac-12 game set up. And, well, it's going to be a rematch from this week. Oregon State, Civil War. Last time meeting as Pac-12 foes. Now it's just going to be a clean old-fashioned rivalry. Give me Oregon. And Arizona State. Give me State. I'm just screwed. That and I misclicked. Utah, close one. And Washington over Washington State. Now we are left with the Pac-12 championship game. Have Oregon State. Oregon winning the game in the regular season. Week before. The difference in this game is the quarterback. DJ Uyunglele, Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is further developed. He's further along. It's going to be, again, just like in the regular season game, this is going to be close. And it may even be closer than the regular season game, which I already think is going to be close. In Las Vegas, the Ducks in a very, very, very close battle. This one is coming down to the final drive. A game for the ages to end the Pac-12 once and for all. Oregon wins it over Oregon State. Fan favorite's going to be Oregon State because they're getting left in the dust. But Oregon leaves the Pac-12 as champions. They go on to the Big Ten as Pac-12 champions. It hurts to see this conference dissolve. But as I said at the top of it, traditions will be made new. Traditions die, traditions are born in times like these where you have conference realignment, transfer portal, NIL. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting times in 2024, and also kind of made the Collar and Pigskins podcast episode kind of mute on the 24 schedule. Big Ten's gonna have to completely redo it, but nonetheless, I'm gonna make a few closing statements on what is essentially the dissolving of the Pac-12. The Pac-12 has nobody to blame but themselves. At least the commissioner, George Klykoff or whatever, slept on he got surprised by USC and UCLA. And then he sat there and did nothing. The Big 12, they lost their two brands, and they don't have an Oregon, Utah to fall back on. There is nobody, no blue bloods after Texas, Oklahoma. But the Big 12 got aggressive. And that is the difference between survival and death. And obliteration. So, in an age of where content is at a premium, especially with college football, the best you could do is Apple TV or iTV or whatever the hell the rumors were. Pac-12 did it to themselves. They did not heed the warnings of USC, and they did nothing in the aftermath. Forced Oregon, Utah, Washington, and all the schools that are leaving force their hand. And now, probably going to see remaining 4 go to a G5. So, is what it is. And yes, I'm sad that the Pac-12 is dissolving, but I'm excited about what's to come in college football. These super conferences, that means more big games. And I really hope that when they redo the 2025 schedule, week 1, right off the cuff, they have some sort of big game. They have a Ohio State, USC, a Oregon, Michigan, something along those lines. Make a statement. Make sure that this 2024 schedule starts with a bang. Now, that's all I got for you today. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you for the next conference to be previewed. See you next time.